Faith can move mountains. We've all heard it, right? But let's be real. When was the last time you saw a mountain actually move? Here's the thing, though. Mountains are moving all the time. Not the ones made of rock, but the ones in our lives. Those towering challenges that seem impossible to overcome. And I've got the stories to prove it. Real people, real problems, real miracles. You're not going to believe what faith can do until you see this. Like the story of someone who faced a mountain so big, it seemed insurmountable. But then, well, you'll have to stick around to find out what happened next. Hello everyone, it's Damon. Have you ever felt like your problems are just too big to handle? Like no matter what you do, you're stuck in this impossible situation? Well, I've got a story that's going to blow your mind. It's about Sarah, a single mom who was right where you might be right now. Picture this. Sarah's working her tail off, trying to keep a roof over her kids' heads, but those bills just keep piling up. Every time she turns around, there's another expense. She's working overtime, cutting back on everything, but it feels like she's just treading water. And the worst part, she's about to lose her home. The fear and stress were eating her up inside, keeping her awake at night. One day, Sarah's flipping through an old Bible her grandma gave her, and boom, she stumbles across this verse about faith moving mountains. At first, she's skeptical. How's that going to help me pay my rent, she thinks, but something about those words sticks with her. That night, Sarah can't shake the idea. What if there really was something to this faith thing? She decides to give it a shot, not just a quick prayer, but a real all-in belief that things could change. And you know what? The moment she did that, it was like putting on a pair of glasses she didn't know she needed. Suddenly she started seeing opportunities everywhere. A job posting at her kid's school she'd never noticed before. A neighbor mentioned a part-time gig. Even her landlord turned out to be understanding when she explained her situation. Sarah's whole outlook changed. She went from feeling defeated to feeling like maybe she could turn this thing around. And that is exactly what happened. Sarah landed that job at the school, a career opportunity with benefits and room for growth. Within a few months, she was back on her feet, catching up on bills, and even starting to save. The power of faith isn't about some magic wand that makes all your problems disappear. It's about changing how you see those problems. Sarah's mountain didn't shrink. She just found a way to climb it that she couldn't see before. Think about it. How many times have you felt stuck, thinking there's no way out? But what if, like Sarah, you're just not seeing all the possibilities? Faith isn't about sitting back and waiting for miracles. It's about believing that solutions exist, even when you can't see them yet. It's about having the courage to take that first step, even when the whole path isn't clear. So, what's the mountain in your life right now? Take a moment and imagine what it would feel like to truly believe that mountain can move. Not that it will magically disappear, but that you have the strength to overcome it. That's the power of faith. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending everything's fine. It's about choosing to believe in possibilities, even when things look bleak. And who knows, your story might just be the next amazing turnaround waiting to happen. Ever wondered if there's more to belief than just wishful thinking? Well, science is starting to catch up with what believers have known for years, and the findings are pretty mind-blowing. For a long time, scientists were skeptical about the effects of faith on our brains. They thought it was all just wishful thinking. But recent studies have shown results that are making even the biggest skeptics take notice. Faith can actually change the structure of your brain. Scientists have found that people who regularly practice faith or meditation have more gray matter in certain parts of their brains. It's like faith is giving your brain a workout, building it up in all the right places. But it is not just about having a bigger brain. It's about how faith affects your whole body and mind. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to handle stress better than others? Well, there might be a faith connection there. Studies have shown that people with strong faith often have lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. It's like their faith is a natural stress buster. And it's not just stress. Faith seems to be a superhero when it comes to mental health. People who have a strong faith often report feeling more positive, more hopeful, and less anxious. It's like faith gives them a different lens to view the world through, and that lens makes everything look a little brighter. Now, you might be wondering, does this actually help in real life? Well, the answer is a big yes. Scientists have found that people with strong faith often have better coping mechanisms. When life throws them a curveball, they're more likely to step up to the plate and knock it out of the park. But here's the kicker. It's not just about feeling good or handling stress better. Faith can lead to real-world results. Studies show that people with strong faith often achieve more of their goals. It's like their faith gives them an extra boost of motivation and perseverance. Now, I'm not saying faith is some kind of magic wand that will instantly solve all your problems. But what science is showing us is that faith can be a powerful tool in your life toolbox. It's like having a secret weapon that helps you face challenges head on and come out stronger on the other side. And here's something really cool. The benefits of faith aren't limited to any one religion or belief system. Whether you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, or just someone who believes in the power of positivity, the effects are similar. It's not about what you believe, but how strongly you believe it. So when you're facing a tough situation, your faith isn't just some nice idea. It's a real, tangible force that can help you overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. It's like having a superpower that you can tap into anytime you need it. Alright, let's talk about the ultimate faith superhero, Jesus himself. Now, I know you've probably heard stories about him walking on water and feeding thousands with just a few loaves, but there's way more to it than you might think. Jesus was teaching us something incredible about faith, and it's going to blow your mind. Let's dive into one of Jesus' most famous miracles, feeding 5,000 people with just a few loaves and fish. Picture this, a huge crowd, hungry and tired, following Jesus for days. The disciples are freaking out, wondering how they're going to feed all these people. But Jesus, he's calm as can be. The Bible tells us that he looked at the crowd and felt compassion. He said, "I have compassion on the crowd because they have been with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat." Jesus takes this impossible situation and turns it into a miracle. He doesn't just make food appear out of thin air. He takes what's available, a few loaves and fish, and multiplies it. It's like he's showing us that he can take the little we have and make it more than enough. This miracle wasn't just about filling empty stomachs. It was a sign pointing to something bigger. Jesus was showing us who he really was. It's like he was saying, hey, pay attention. This is what God's love looks like in action. Think about the challenges in your life right now. Maybe you're facing a problem that seems way too big to handle. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough money, enough time, enough patience. Jesus is saying, give me what you've got and watch what I can do with it. Remember, Jesus' disciples often struggled with doubt, just like we do. But Jesus didn't give up on them. He kept teaching, kept showing them what faith looks like in action. And he's doing the same for us today. The Bible tells us that Jesus' miracles were recorded for a reason. John, chapter 20, verses 30 to 31, says that these signs were written down so that we might believe Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. It's like Jesus left us a trail of breadcrumbs leading straight to him. But Jesus doesn't just want us to sit back and watch him do amazing things. He wants us to get in on the action. He taught that faith isn't about being perfect. It's about trust. It's about taking that little bit of belief you have and putting it into action. When we do that, amazing things happen. It's not about moving physical mountains. It's about overcoming the mountains in our lives, the fears, the doubts, the challenges that seem impossible. Jesus showed us that with faith, nothing is impossible. So, what's your 5 loaves and 2 fish situation? What seems impossible in your life right now? Remember, Jesus can take that little bit and do something incredible with it. Now, that's what faith is all about. Alright, let's get real for a second. We've all got mountains in our lives, right? Those big scary problems that seem impossible to overcome. Maybe it's a health issue, a relationship on the rocks, or a career goal that's always just out of reach. Whatever it is, I bet it feels like it's casting a shadow on everything else. But here's the thing. That mountain, it's not as immovable as you think. Remember how we talked about faith being able to move mountains? Well, it's time to put that into action in your own life. And I'm not talking about some vague, wishy-washy kind of faith. I'm talking about a faith that's practical, powerful, and ready to work right now. So how do we do this? How do we take this mountain-moving faith and apply it to our real-life problems? It starts with a shift in perspective. Faith isn't about ignoring reality, it's about seeing beyond it. It's looking at that mountain and saying, yeah, you're big, but my God is bigger. Now, imagine that mountain as already moved. Can you feel what it would be like to be on the other side of this challenge? That's what faith is all about. It's believing in the outcome before you see it. But faith isn't just about what happens in your head. It's about action too. You've got to take small steps every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Maybe that means praying when you'd rather worry, or choosing to be grateful when all you can see are problems, or reaching out for help when you'd rather hide away. As you exercise your faith like this, you'll start to see changes. They might be small at first, a new opportunity here, an unexpected blessing there, but over time those small changes add up to something big. Just like Sarah in our earlier story, you might find yourself looking back one day and realizing that your mountain has become a molehill. I get it, though. This isn't always easy. Sometimes our faith feels small. But remember what Jesus said about faith as small as a mustard seed? That's all it takes. Your faith, no matter how tiny it feels right now, has the power to transform your biggest challenges. So here's my challenge to you. Set a specific faith-aligned goal. Maybe it's to pray for 5 minutes every day this week, or to volunteer at your local church or community center. Whatever it is, make it something concrete that reflects your faith in action. Because when we step out in faith, even in small ways, we open ourselves up to see God work in big ways. Are you ready to see your mountain move? Wow, can you believe we've come this far together? Let's wrap up our journey with something incredible. That same power that raised Jesus from the dead, it's living in you right now. It's your reality today, and it's all about who you're putting your faith in. Even a little bit of faith can transform your whole perspective. It's like igniting a spark that lights up the darkest path. So what's that big challenge you're facing? Start small. Set aside just a few minutes each day for prayer or reflection. Watch how it changes everything. You've got this mountain-moving power within you. What mountain will you conquer starting today? Stay blessed by the best.